Um, Good day, everyone. Today we will talk about hypothesis testing, which is a very important concept in quantitative methods. And it's also very relevant in IT. So, as future IT professionals, you will not just build systems later on. You'll also make decisions based on data, whether it's in system performance, user behavior, or even security detection. So hypothesis testing helps us answer question like, is the result real or it's just due to chance? Okay. So we'll be talking about these concepts. So first we'll look into setting up our hypothesis, making a decision and drawing conclusions, and applying hypothesis testing, where we look into mm, the values in okay, and collecting and analyzing sample data, and we'll also look into some errors in hypothesis testing, especially when we try to um, write our assumptions. So first, let's talk about hypothesis testing. Basically, what's hypothesis testing? So, hypothesis testing is a statistical method used to make decisions about population using sample data. So, last time we talked about samples and how do we get samples? We use sampling methods. Okay, so what we're going to do with the sample data that we gather, basically we have to test a claim, okay, using that data. So let's say, for example, we want to test a new application, whether it improves a certain performance, or maybe we'll check whether um, a new algorithm is faster than before, or even detecting if a network intrusion exists. So instead of guessing, we use data to decide. Okay? So we use data to decide. So what are the core components of the hypothesis testing? So there are basically two contradictory hypotheses. Okay, we have the null hypothesis, and we also have the what do you call this, alternative hypothesis. So in hypothesis, you assume something first. Okay, what's really happening? So before collecting any data, we have to define these two competing terms, or these contradictory claims. So we have the null hypothesis, which is basically the default assumption, meaning nothing changed or everything is normal. So we also have the null alternative hypothesis. Okay, so alternative hypothesis is something changed. So what are you trying to prove? Is there an effect? Okay, is something changed? Okay, so let's have an example. Say, imagine whether if we have a system and it's low. Okay, so maybe your our initial assumption would be the system performance is normal. Okay, um and then your alternative hypothesis or your suspicion is the system is lower than usual. Okay, so as for um sorry, as for um the null hypothesis, which serves as the baseline, okay, we assume that the system is working fine. until basically proven otherwise. Okay, so there are that's the two, or those are the two contradictory claims that we have. Okay, we have the null hypothesis, which is the status quo, okay, or the normal assumption, and then we have the alternative hypothesis, which is your claim that there's something happened or changed. Okay, so after that, after we write our hypothesis, okay, we begin to collect data. Okay, so we use this data, okay, to test the assumption. Okay, so we have this data as an evidence whether um, we reject the null hypothesis or not to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so we have to gather the data again. And how do we gather some data? We use sampling. Okay, of course there are measurements that we have to look into. The observations come in. Okay, in context, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na say dun sa system performance parang parang mabagal yung system. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin yon. Okay, we need to look into and we need to gather data relative to the system performance. Okay, maybe response time logs, the CPU usage, no, maybe network latency, okay, or number of active users when they use the system. Okay, that's our data. Okay, we cannot just say na okay, ganito lang to. We cannot do that. Okay, so we need to have basis, no, for our decision. We need data to support our decision. Okay, so after that, no, we come up with the decision. So we decide based on evidence. Okay, we decide based on evidence. So, dito pumapasok yung rejection and non-rejection. So, based on um, based on sample evidence, a decision is made about the null hypothesis, determining whether sufficient evidence exists to accept or reject. Okay, so um, we have to, of course, it's not just reject and it's not just rejection or rejection. We need to know the process on um we need to know the process in testing the hypothesis. Okay, so we what we call this, we have to look into our data. Okay, so these are the components of an hypothesis test. First, again, we need to write our hypothesis, the null and the alternative hypothesis, and then we collect data, okay, and we perform statistical methods, no, so to compute whether the value is good enough to reject the null hypothesis or not to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so let's examine the two hypotheses. Okay, again, these hypotheses contain opposing viewpoints, and only one of these hypotheses is basically true. Hmm, okay, basically true. So again, let's look into the null hypothesis, which is our default assumption. So as you can see in the slide, that it's denoted with HO. Okay, it's denoted with HO, and it's usually um, it's usually a statement about the population that either is believed to be true or it's used to put forth an argument unless it can be shown to be incorrect or incorrect beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay? The null hypothesis represents the statement of no effect, no difference, okay, just the status quo. It is assuming being tested. Okay, so let's have an example here. Say we claim that a population parameter equals to some value. Okay, so we've written here our mean, okay, is equal to 5. So remember, when using the null hypothesis or represent it with this, we always have, since it's a status quo, we always use equal. Okay, we always use equal. So a well-defined null hypothesis is crucial for accurately assessing whether the observed data provide evidence for rejection. Okay, so let's have an example. Um, the system response time is 2 seconds. Okay, or the app does not improve performance. Okay, so say no effect or no difference. Okay, we use equal sign to represent our null hypothesis. So how about the alternative hypothesis? Okay, so our what do you call this? Our alternative hypothesis is contradictory claim about our null hypothesis. Okay, so let's have an example here. The alternative hypothesis is claimed that the population parameter um, claim that's greater than, okay, you can see here greater than, less than, or not equal to some value. Meaning, you only have greater than, less than, or equal to. So this also represents the rejection, what do you call this? The rejection area, okay, in our distribution, okay? So if example, you have greater than, okay, um, your rejection area, if we draw the curve, okay, if we draw the curve, you see that in this area, okay, this is our rejection region. Okay, so kapag greater than, it's right tail. Okay, kapag less than, it's left tail. Okay, so kapag not equal than, not equal, meaning both tail, okay, both right and left. Okay, so what do we mean by right tail, left tail, two tail? Okay, or edge tails. Okay, so kapag right tail, we are checking into the extreme values to the right. Say for example, ito yung sa drawing na to. Left tail, if nandito, okay, both basically the two areas. Okay, so again, you use greater than for um, right tail, less than for left tail, and two tail if you look into the extreme values for the both sides. Okay, so let's have um but before we go to the example, okay, because the null and the alternative hypothesis are contradictory, we must examine evidence to decide if we have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis or not to reject the null hypothesis. So the evidence is in a form of the sample data. So as we have determined which hypothesis the sample data supports, we make a decision. Okay, so there are two options for decision. Reject the null hypothesis if the sample information favors the alternative hypothesis, or do not reject the null hypothesis if the sample information is insufficient to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, let's have here some examples on how are we going to write for our hypothesis. Okay, so a candidate in a local region claims that 30% of a registered user, you have here 30% of registered voters voted in a recent election. Information provided by returning office suggests that percentage is higher than, okay, the claim. So how do we write the hypothesis? So we know that our null hypothesis, okay, is equal to 30%. So we have here null hypothesis, P is equal to 30%. And our alternative hypothesis, since higher than, we mean we look into the right tail. So we have greater than to represent that. Okay, this is just how simple it is to write our null and alternative hypothesis. So you always have to look into the context of the problem. Okay, let's try this one. A medical researcher believes that the new medicine reduces cholesterol by 25%. A medical trial suggests that the percent reduction is different than claimed. So how do we state now the null and alternative hypothesis? So we can say that our HO, okay, is equal to HO, sorry. So we have here HO is equal to our HO, say our value is equal to 25%. Okay. So it says here that the percent reduction is different than claim. So you say percent reduction, it means mas mababa. Okay? So say P is now less than 2. Our alternative hypothesis is equal to P equal to, not less than, I should say, 25%. Okay? 25%. So that's how we represent the null and an alternative hypothesis. Okay? Let's have another, let's have other examples here. Okay? So we want to test whether the mean GWA of students in CCIS is different from 2.0 out of 50, out of 5.0. So let's state the null and alternative hypotheses. So whether we see whether the mean, okay, meaning uncertain whether mas mababa or mas mataas. Okay, so we say not equal to, so represent, because we look into the both left and the right tail. And our null hypothesis is 2. Our mean is equal to 2. Okay, and we have other examples here to represent how we write the null and alternative hypothesis. Next, so this is your task. You have to write the null and the alternative hypothesis of these problems. Okay. Again, the null hypothesis always contain the equal sign. Okay. So always write the alternative hypothesis, no, using less than, greater than, or not equal symbols. Okay. So that's our first video lecture. Okay. So you have to work on how to write the hypothesis for these problems. Okay, next. So collecting and analyzing data. So after we have written, again, process, after we have written the null and the alternative hypothesis, we now collect and analyze sample data. All right. So when we collect data, as mentioned before in our sampling technique and sampling distribution lecture, okay, can either make use of random sampling to basically avoid bias. Okay, we already have make use of z-tests for normally distributed data. Okay, so we use also z-tests if we have large sample or we have known standard deviation of the population. If if our sample is small and our standard deviation is unknown, we can make use of the t-test. Okay, someone have asked me about, sir, are we going to make use also of the t-test? Okay, so we have also have the t-distribution. Okay, so we have talked about random sampling. So there are non-probability random sampling. We have the stratified, I'm sorry, we have the convenience sampling. So when we speak about the normal distribution, okay, again, ang larger sample natin, when we know the standard deviation. We use the t-test if we have small um, sample and we have unknown standard deviation. There are other distributions like chi-square, f-square. Okay, so this is used to analyze categorical data or comparing variances respectively. Okay, so after that, we perform and we compute for the test statistics and the p-value. I know that p-value is no longer new to you. Okay, so p-value is the probability that the results happen by chance. Okay, so kapag small yung p-value natin, say usually we look into the significance level like p-value of 0.5. Okay, so a strong less than that, meaning there's a strong evidence against the null hypothesis. And kapag mas mataas yung value ng P, I'm sorry, there's a weak evidence. Okay? So we'll be tackling this when we um, compute for the p-value of the p-value for the population, okay, when we test our hypothesis. So there are statistical softwares we can use, mhm, to perform calculations like we have SPSS. Okay? So marami din online na pwede nyong gamitin para mag-compute for the value. Okay? So I think we have to basically end the first lecture, video lecture for this. Okay? And we will be tackling next video lecture, making decisions and drawing conclusions, and the other computations. Okay, so that's all for